Hi students, so coming for this video, we are going to go for chapter 1, accounting for not-for-profit organization. Today, it is all about the theory concepts to make you people understand the basic things that is required and then go for the accounting process. So let us just see how it is going to be. Coming for the introduction part of this, first we need to know what actually not-for-profit organization means. See, the word not-for-profit tells us that this type of organizations are formed to render social services. It is formed for the welfare of the society. So their motivation is to provide services and not to earn profits. So let us see the examples of such. We have hospitals, schools and colleges, charitable institutions, and many others, like you can also have sports club, etc, etc. So next we have the items to be classified for accounting purpose. So when you're going for this type of organizations, there are certain accounting procedures which we need to follow. It's quite different comparing to that of profit oriented firms. So let us see how it is going to be classified. So we have the items to be considered. One is capital item and then we have revenue items. So what is this capital item? Capital item is nothing but it is going to be non-recurring in nature, which means it appears only once in a while and the benefit of that is going to be used by us for more than 1 year. For example, you purchase a land, you purchase a machinery, you purchase a building. So all these you spend once, but the benefit of that for many years. And apart from this, you also have the receipts way, which means you receive a donation, the fund for special donation, or it could also be like a life membership fees, someone who wanted to take part and act as a member for your firm or the institution. So this type of money which is received or as a fund is going to be under capital items because these all are appearing only once. That is why non-recurring in nature. Next, revenue items. What is this revenue items? Revenue items means which is occurring in nature again and again to your day-to-day activities of your business. Example, you purchase something like you are spending on it could be stationery, printing and stationery, you're spending on Xerox, then you're spending on telephone charges and electricity bill, salary, wages. So all these newspapers and periodicals which is going to be occurring in your day-to-day activity of your business. And apart from this, you also have interest received, commission received, then you also have rent received, which is going to be occurring again and again. So these all are called as revenue items. So let us see the next page what capital items are going to be classified as. It is classified as capital receipts and capital expenditure, as I said. So let us observe capital receipts in the sense which is received. So once in a while. So example, life membership fees, as I said, sale of fixed assets. So fixed assets, once when you sell, the amount which you receive is going to be only once in a while. Again, you can't keep selling the same fixed asset, right? The right of ownership is transferred only once from your hand to the other person. So the money which you received is only once received. Then donations, donations, if it is going to be received only once, it is going to be capital receipt from the concerned donator. Next, on the capital expenditure, moving on, the examples under this is, as I said, you're spending once, but the benefit is used for many years, more than 1 year. Example, purchase of land, purchase of machinery and buildings for the sake of your organization. For the sake of your organization, you have purchased a land to run a school, to build a building. So all this, the machinery which you have purchased for the sake of your firm, again the building, anything which has been purchased, this money spent only once is going to be capital expenditure. Next, moving on to the next, revenue items classification is again into two: revenue receipts and revenue expenditure. Similar, this is occurring again and again. I need not explain, I guess, just observe. Revenue receipts example, we go sale proceeds of goods. We keep selling every day the goods and we receive the money. So it is received every day. Next, interest received. Monthly we receive on the amount which we have invested. It could be 3 months once or 6 months once or yearly basis, but this is regular in process. Then commission received for your service which you have provided or rendered. If you receive any commission, it could be always on the regular basis. Then moving on to your revenue expenditure, example, salary, rent and printing charges, all these are occurring in your day-to-day life, so which you are paying. So this is only classification which we need to know. Then moving on to your next part, the important items to be considered. What are these important items to be considered? First thing is capital fund. Capital fund. What is this capital fund? I guess you people remember the capital in case of a balance sheet of first year, which falls on the liability side. Here it is same, but the word fund is added additionally. So capital fund, we have certain items to be included in this, because this is not going to be one concerned person contributing. It's going to be from the most of the outsiders. So let us see what actually this capital fund includes. There are certain items under that. Legacies. What are these legacies actually? It is nothing but the money or the fund received by the not-for-profit organization from the donor on his willingness before his death. So he is just donating through his complete willingness. Either his money or a property is going to be donated for not-for-profit organization like a charity or a trust. Next, endowment fund. This is again, it is either going to be the fund, property which is gifted by a concerned donor to such type of organizations. Then special fund. What is a special fund? The fund which is received by the firms, not-for-profit organization, firms or institutions for a special purpose. For example, if the fund is received for construction of building, it should be building fund. If it is going to be for the purpose of sports, so it is going to be called as sports fund. For the tournament, it's called as tournament fund. Next, donations. Donations are also a form of fund received. It could also be classified into special donations or general donations. Purpose, special in the sense it should be a special reason. In case it is general, it could be a general reason that is being received by such type of firms. Next, life membership fees. What is this life membership fees? If any individual would like to act as a member of such charity or a trust, they can also take part just by paying up or contributing life membership fees. Then other items we need to be considered here is honorarium. What is this honorarium? It is nothing but something which is being paid for a service provided by the concerned person. It could also be called as a salary. Honorarium is equal to a remuneration or a salary paid. Next, entrance fees. What is this entrance fees? If a member who wanted to act or take part in the trust, he needs to first pay admission fees or a entrance fees to the concerned institution. So this is the important items to be considered by us. Capital fund, all the items will always fall on the liability side of your balance sheet, whereas honorarium and entrance fees falls in your income and expenditure account. Entrance fees, be very clear to be noted, it depends upon the instruction provided under the adjustment. So let us see what are the next important thing to be considered by us. Coming for the final accounts of not-for-profit organizations, we have 3 accounts to be prepared. So first is receipts and payments account, next income and expenditure account, and the third balance sheet. So let us see what receipts and payment account means. It is just equal to your cash book. I guess you people can recall the simple cash book or double column cash book. Yes, that cash book or the cash account here in case of not-for-profit organizations is going to be called as receipts and payments account. It's very simple. What is received, what is paid, only those are going to be included in this. Just observe the format of this. In case of this receipts and payments account, we have the complete capital as well as revenue items included. Just observe on the receipt side. On the receipt side, I have highlighted which is going to be yellow in color. All those are capital items. Donations, legacies, life membership fees, sale of assets, all these are capitals, and the rest which is not highlighted are revenue, which means occurring. So we have recurring as well as non-recurring, complete, both included in case of receipts and payments account. On the payment side, again, just observe, I have highlighted purchase of assets and investment. This is again the capital in nature, capital expenditure. So this tells receipts and payment account is going to be completely involved only with cash inflow and cash outflow. So it is not whether it is going to be a capital in nature or revenue in nature. Both are included. Irrespective of anything, only cash related is going to be considered in this account. So let us observe on the receipt side, starting always will be only on the receipt side, your left hand side, and it is also called as debit side. To balance brought down, cash in hand or cash at bank. This tells that the opening balance is going to be with you. So starting from that, all the other receipts you are going to just observe and take it into account as per the question which is given. And then moving on to your payment side, you are going to just write all the payments made by the concerned firm or an organization, and then you are going to compare which side is greater. Be very clear, in case of receipts and payments, your debit side, receipt side only should be greater, so that you get the balancing figure as cash in hand or cash at bank closing balance. That is the last by balance carried down, cash in hand and cash at bank. This tells what is your closing balance or the balance left out with you. So this is why this receipts and payment account is just prepared to find out whether we have excess cash in hand or cash at bank, or we have less of that. So just observe. Next, moving on to the next format. This format is very important to be revised. You keep revising it just once. It's not that you have to mug up. You just revise. You just observe what are the items comes on payment side and receipt side. So it's easy for us to go for the solvation when it comes in case of problems. Then moving on to the next format of income and expenditure account. Just observe, income and expenditure account is just similar to that of profit and loss account prepared. Profit and loss account, the word is mentioned in case of trading concern, but income and expenditure account word is mentioned in case of not for profit or non-trading concerns. Now let us just observe here. This is just opposite in case of receipts and payments, which means your income falls on your credit side and your expenditure falls on your debit side. So let us see on the income side, whatever you have on the receipt, only the revenue related items are going to be just posted on your income side, opposite side. Just your revenue items. Just observe. Let us go for the receipt side. Apart from the opening balance, which is not highlighted, all these are revenue in nature, recurring again and again. That is going to be post it on your credit side. Just post it. If you have any adjustment for the current year, that will be added or to be detected, and then we are going to take the values. Then moving on to your expenditure side, again just observe your payment side, whatever is not highlighted, which is revenue in nature occurring again and again, is going to be just posted on your opposite side, that is debit side of your profit and loss account, that is income and expenditure account. Just observe it clearly. So this is how we are going to prepare income and expenditure account. In this concerned chapter, we have only for 12 marks, so we have to learn how to prepare income and expenditure account and the balance sheet. So just observe, if in this case your debit side is greater, it tells your expenditure is more, which means excess of expenditure over your income. So that balancing figure will be on your credit side, nothing but the loss. We find out loss to be transferred to partners, right, in capital account. So that same year it is called as, the loss is called as deficit, that is to excess of, it is by excess of income, by excess of expenditure over the income. Your expenditure side is greater, so that value balancing figure is called as deficit here. Again, if your income side is greater, your income side balance figure, which is called as a profit in case of profit and loss account, here it is called as surplus. So that is to excess of income over your expenditure. Always remember, if your income side is more, the balancing figure will be surplus for us, profit for us. If your expenditure side is more, the balancing figure will be deficit for us, which means a loss. So this is need to be considered by us. Just observe it. This is very important. You keep revising, just observe it, keep observing what actually is taking place. So this is what very important to be considered by us. So going for balance sheet, I guess balance sheet, when we are doing the sums, it's easy for us to understand. So I guess you people know balance sheet format. Coming for the question, let us have a small solvation on a very simple problem which has been given here. Let us read the question now. From the following information of Citizens Club, prepare the receipts and payments account for the year ending 31st March 2013. Cash in hand on 1st April 2012 is 1,000. Entrance fees received is 1,000. Subscriptions received 75,000. Rent paid 9,000. Paid for printing and stationery rupees 5,000. Newspapers and periodicals rupees 5,800. Electricity charges rupees 400. Furniture purchased rupees 10,000, sale of old newspapers rupees 500, life membership fees rupees 2,000. Now based on this, we are just going to do receipts and payments account. So before going for that, I just want you people to segregate what is the receipts and what is payments using a pencil or something, whatever it is. So just segregate when you writing down this question, so it's easy for us. So in case of receipt, okay, just write the initial of R, and in case if it is a payment, write the initial as P. So when you're just making a note, write it in the pencil, so it's easy for us. So let us see what are going to be the receipts. I guess cash in hand is a receipt. Entrance fees received. The word received tells us it is a receipt. So entrance fees, subscriptions, then furniture, it is a payment. Sale of old newspaper, when you're selling old newspaper, you receive cash, so it is a receipt. Life membership fees, again you are receiving a cash, so it is going to be a receipt. So let us move on towards payment items. You have rent paid, paid for printing and stationery, newspaper and periodicals, electricity charges, and furniture purchase. When you purchase a furniture, cash is going out, so it is going to be paid. So this is the first thing which we need to do. After segregation of that, next go for receipts and payments account format. Just prepare it. As I said, receipt side to be on the debit side and payments to be on the credit side. Let us move on. First, cash in hand to be taken. So when you take up the cash in hand, opening balance, to balance brought down, 1000 to be written, then all the other items which you have written with the initial of R, just pick it and write on your receipt side using the prefix called to. So I've just done it. Observe it. I've written all the values here. Then moving on to your payment side. Take all the payments that you have made with the initial of P mentioned. Just copy and just write it down on your credit side with the prefix of buy. For example, I've written buy rent paid, buy stationery paid with the values. After writing this, just observe it. You have to consider which side is greater. I said as I get receipt side greater, the total value 79,500. I've taken it from this 79,500. Reduce your payments, all the payments made. So you get the balancing figure. That is cash in hand, closing balance as 49,300. So it's a very simple sum which we have done. So I just wanted you people to just try this and find out how it is. So if you understand this simple sums, it's easy for us to go for 12 marks. So next coming up is going to be only for 12 marks. This chapter includes only for 12 marks.